Earlier this morning, we have just raised the flag with the Confederation anthem, which, as you know, is yet another important step that we are taking in our union, which is not without difficulty, because unity is hard, especially in Africa. It is difficult to unite, but it is the solution.
Right now, whether we like it or not, as I've always repeated, the ambition of Ibrahima Traore has changed the dynamic of ECOWAS, West Africa. As to whether we'll be neutral, we are no more neutral in this.
Earlier this morning, we have just raised the flag with the Confederation anthem, which, as you know, is yet another important step that we are taking in our union, which is not without difficulty, because unity is hard, especially in Africa. It is difficult to unite, but it is the solution. We must unite little by little. The AES is making steady progress, despite all the difficulties, all the challenges ahead of us. If I were naive, I would ask myself, but why don't the imperialists want this union? But I'm not naive, I know why. And that's the same question that those who still tend to sleep should be asking themselves. Why don't they want us to unite? Why does the Confederation scare or bother some people? Because we are approached every day by those imperialists trying to get one of the three to betray the others. We have been facing this for a very long time. Every time is these kinds of schemes that are meant to get you to leave the Confederation. This should make us think. And when you look at our relationships, there is actually no friendship. In this world, there are only interests. People only come to us for their own interests. We need to be fully aware of that. They will fight us. They will keep fighting us, but we will come out victorious and strong. These situations we are experiencing, we must not take them and feel sorry for ourselves. On the contrary, they should make us stronger. We must come out of this war very strong. Understand why we have been so heavily attacked, toughen ourselves, and make sure that in the centuries to come, we never experience this kind of situation again. That is what we need to keep in mind. So I invite everyone to redouble their efforts, because Burkinabés are known as very courageous, hardworking, and resilient people. And these values, we must work to improve them. Wherever you go in Africa or even in the world, you will find Burkinabés. And it is these values that define and identify Burkinabés. So we must do everything possible to be men of integrity, as the name of our country suggests, to be courageous, resilient, selfless people, and to redouble our efforts in everything we do for the well-being of Burkinabés, but also for the well-being of our confederation. That is very important. And once we have reached a certain level, you will understand even better why we were being fought against. Because our country is rich in its human value, rich in its moral values, but above all, rich in its underground resources. And it is these riches that are coveted, but these riches must benefit the Burkinabés. Nothing has really started yet in terms of exploiting natural resources, and therefore, in terms of redistribution to the popular masses. We can change the face of our country. We can move out of this situation of underdevelopment and very quickly become an emerging nation. All it takes is work. Everyone needs to get involved. Just as the fighters are sacrificing themselves on the front lines, we must also be able to make sacrifices within the administration. We need to make sure that we work beyond what we are used to push our abilities further. Because as I said, we need to move very quickly. And it is by moving quickly that we can catch off guard those who are trying to divide us, those who are trying to keep us in a state of poverty. The Burkinabé is not poor. I am telling you, I am repeating it to you, we are very rich. And that is our main problem. It is because of this wealth that they do not want us to first realize that we are rich and to be able to exploit our resources. And beyond the Burkinabé, the entire Sahel is rich, immensely rich. And I know that all of you know this. The Sahel will not remain poor. We will continue on our path, continue building the AES to be strong, resilient, to make the AES a space of complete security, to be able to properly exploit our resources so that they can benefit our popular masses. With that, I invite you to pass this message on to all your loved ones. We must make sacrifices here in the rear, in the office, in order to support those who are on the front lines. So I wish you a very good week, a very good month of June, and a great end to the first semester. And so see you soon to face the second semester with more energy, more selflessness, more courage. Homeland or death, we shall overcome.
Right now, whether we like it or not, as I've always repeated, the ambition of Ibrahima Traore has changed the dynamic of ECOWAS, West Africa, as to whether we'll be neutral. We are no more neutral in this war. We are part of the war. Why? Because the Russian soldiers are in Burkina Faso, they are in Niger, and to some extent Mali. And when this missiles is being thrown, they will find a way of throwing some there because the enemies are here. In the past, it was the French. Now, there are some North Korean soldiers. We heard about 67 of them now have also come into Burkina Faso. And intelligence have gone out there. And everybody is looking. Everybody knows what is happening. If you know how they were able to target all the Iranians, the Israel target them and all the facilities and bomb them with precision. There are informants from within. So what is happening in Burkina Faso, every information is out there. Now, let us ask Captain Traore a simple question. Mr. Traore, what is your problem? First of all, you are a criminal that need to be arrested and punished. Seriously. But you are complicating the problem. Captain Traore is not having problem with white people. Because if Ibrahima Traore has problem with white people, he wouldn't have gone to call the Russians. Russians are whites. They are not blacks. And his best friend is Putin. Captain Traore has gone to bring white people into Burkina Faso. And he has also gone to bring North Koreans who are whites. They are not blacks. They're just like the Russians from Far East Asia. Then you have the French who are also white. So it's no more about skin color to Captain Traore. It's about his selfish ambition. It's not about white against black. It's all about who will protect him as the devil. That's all. And let's look at it very well. Maybe Captain Traore has not read history properly. He has gone to do away with one colonizer and gone to bring another colonizer. The difference is that the new colonizer is somebody else's colonizer. It's not his colonizer. So he's walking into a trap. Why do you think Ukraine is seriously fighting with Russia? They were all in the Soviet Union. Soviet Union is supposed to be like the British Empire. That is what it is. The Ukrainians fought for their independence that they don't want to be in the Soviet Union anymore. The Georgians and the Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, they left the Soviet Union. So what was left behind is what today you call Russia. But Russia was the dominant hegemony within the Soviet. It's like the British Empire and the British controlling everyone. The French Empire and the French controlling everyone from outside who are now part of the French stock. So this is exactly what France is doing in West Africa. And this is exactly what the Ukrainians are fighting against. They don't want to be under the Russian again. They want to stand on their own. So if the Ukrainians are seeing the Russians as colonizers and they are fighting them, you, Captain Traore, you are also seeing the French as your colonizers and you are fighting them. Hold it. Do you do away with one colonizer and go and bring another colonizer? This is why we formed the ECOWAS. And this is exactly what Captain Traore wants to destroy. Instead of joining the rest of us, so that we make ECOWAS work. We are in court already. Destroying ECOWAS cannot guarantee the future we want for our children. ECOWAS rather must be made to be strong. And here we are. Ibrahima Traore, very ambitious, selfish young man who is a criminal. You find it difficult to understand this armed robber. It's like a bank guard that has kidnapped the manager and taken over the bank, and it's because the manager is corrupt and is throwing money left, center, and right, and he's doing charity. He's still a crook. He's still a criminal. Ibrahima Traore was not employed by the government of Burkina Faso to stage a coup. It's a treasonable felony. And this is where I'm in court with ECOWAS, so that ECOWAS will understand the blunder. And let me be honest with you. While we are tooth and arm attacking the ECOWAS commission, because the problem is the commission. It's not the presidents of the countries. It is the commission of ECOWAS, led by Umar Aliou Touré. The problem we are having here is that if we are voting for the members of the ECOWAS parliament, we'll be in this mess. Now look at our people. While bombs are raining everywhere and everyone is fighting hard, everyone is looking for weapons to protect themselves. Because when there is fire, what you need is water. To the reality of this child. Are you aware what led to the First World War, Second World War, and the Third World War is raising its head again? And are you aware when everyone is busy trying to get something done, the people on the African continent, ECOWAS citizens, they are just like dead people. Exactly what our ancestors did when the First World War took place, like animals. They were not part of anything. Second World War took place. They were not part of it. And sometimes, if not all the time, the problem that is going to be solved, which is about who control the world, who give direction to the journey of the world. The victims, like Kwame Nkrumah said, are those who are feeling neutral. We are aware Russia-Ukraine war is taking a different dimension now, a new, totally different dimension. European Union has got up to strategize. They've put all differences aside, and together they pile up weapons. They are announcing investments, because if you can't provide security for yourself, then the devil have you under his belt. The Americans have started flexing their muscles. The Russians are doing exactly what they've always done, fighting for their life. Israel has launched missiles into Iran. Iran has responded. Now, as I talk to you, Tel Aviv is flattened. And we know what Israel is capable of doing. So, another phase. Totally, this thing has got out of hand of the United Nations. UN is not the solution to this problem. It's about who will win. The Chinese and the North Koreans have sided directly with the Russians. The Europeans, in the name of NATO, America cannot walk away. But whether America like it or not, like it happened in the Second World War, should be dragged into the war. And America will not sit down for Israel to be flattened. Never. Israel is fighting American war. America is negotiating with Iran. On nuclear issue, Israel is attacking. So the two are on one side against Iran. The Russians are also looking for way, but they've been bogged down already. And is China ready to come in? Then come to West Africa. We have a commissioner for peace and security, political affairs, called Abdel Fattah Musa. By now, he should have got all the security chief officers together to sit down with ECOWAS to talk. What should be their stand? How would they even protect the 350 million population of West Africa? It's not like the ECOWAS Commission don't care. They just sit down there, collect salary. The painful part is the so-called leaders of the countries are totally divided. And sad part, Nigeria don't know what to do. Yes, the president of Nigeria doesn't know, because he has so much problem inside Nigeria. The Ghanaian president is busy gallivanting. He's now in Jamaica. Not even the worst one that will watch it. Everybody is up with their arms, ready. Nobody will come near them. Our people on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, the only thing they are doing from West Africa is dancing, fooling around, making so pranks. They don't really, the people are worse than the so-called their leaders. Where are we going with it? This exactly is what we did. When the First World War was happening, our ancestors were in the forest like animals, doing exactly this. When the Second World War was happening, exactly that. If our ancestors were people we should be proud of, that they fought and created something for us, and they were not fooling in the bush, I didn't want to see people were taken away as slaves and whatever they want to do. Why didn't they take the Chinese away? Why did they not take the Indians away? Why did not they take the Russians away? Why is it the black on the African continent, particularly West Africa? All this thing I'm telling you, it's not from South Africa. It's not from East Africa. It's not even from Jamaica. The stupidity you are seeing today is all from West Africans. People on the street, when you look at them, you say, hey God, where are these animals heading to? It's like that. When the world is on fire, the animals in the bush, they don't care until there's one big fire land on them. Then they wake up. Yeah. Let us get up. This battle is a serious one. It's our battle. The few that are also even commenting on Israel and Ukraine and all those nonsense, they only do it because of the money they will be getting and the followers. Please use your brain to understand that this is the time to share this video. Let everybody know some of us are awake. Some of us are ready to change. Some of us will not sit down for lies and deception to continue to determine where we go to of the past. And we want to create history now.